Here we are. I'm Gail Nelson, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami. I'm pleased to be in the studio today, teaming up with Dr. Sarah Haynes. Dr. Sarah Haynes earned her PhD in clinical psychology. At 31, she earned a postdoctoral fellowship at Georgetown School of Medicine and an invite to join the clinical research faculty. At 35, she was a tenured professor. And at 45, Dr. Haynes was recruited to Silicon Valley to join a leading venture capital firm with a $650 plus million under management that invests in 18 plus game changing unicorns. Dr. Haynes is a tech entrepreneur, a philanthropist, an educator, professor, activist, a community builder who served in so many different capacities of leadership, which include CEO, chair, and COO roles with the Pishavar Family Office, Pishavar Haynes Foundation, Bolt Mobility with co-founder Usain Bolt, and the DHC. After serving on the UNICEF Steering Committee, Dr. Haynes joined the UNICEF Board of Directors in 2020. It's such a pleasure being with you today, my dear.
It is my honor and pleasure to be here at Big Brother Big Sister here in Miami with you, Gail, and we have our esteemed guest here as well. We're honored to have Giselle Hashimian, a technology entrepreneur. She is a seasoned technology entrepreneur with broad experience in public and private sectors. She recently launched Blue Juniper, a technology service firm focusing on delivering technology solutions and to governments and companies. She is a member of the socially impact focused investment group, We Capital, and is a consortium of female investors who, through their investment in Rethink Impact, support gender diverse management teams using tech to solve the world's greatest challenges. And she's also co-founded the Project Turquoise, a nonprofit organization that exposes children and youth all over the world, which is very similar to your mission here at Big Brothers and Big Sister. Prior to her current endeavors, she also has led a technology firm, Paragon Technology, and under her leadership, Paragon grew organically from a revenue base of $1 million in 2003 to over $41 million in 2011.
Wow.
Serving the public and private sectors as a management consulting and technology service needs. Paragon was selected in Inc. magazine as 5,000 list in 2010 and 2011, so she is recognized as a high-performing government contractor. She has many, many more accolades that we could go deep into, including being an incredible mother and wife. So we are going to represent all of those amazing women entrepreneurs that are making a difference today, and we'd love to be able to learn from your experience and how you've used your values to be able to motivate yourself to continue to be able to find as much balance as possible as a mother, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, wife, daughter, all of the other friends to your community, and a nonprofit leader as well. I'd love to just jump right in and ask you a couple questions about if you could identify 6 adjectives that you would choose immediately that would describe your life story, and try to pick 2 for each of the 5 pillars. And the 5 pillars include career and finance, leadership and personal evolution, health and wellness, family and intimate relationships, as well as community and network. These are the 5 pillars from Dr. Haynes' collective methodology that I've developed to be able to help 100% of the clients and my students as a tenured professor achieve their goals using science-based and data-driven and value-driven goals. So I'd love to dig in and learn how you've been able to implement some of these things, but I would love to know how it started for you in terms of the adjectives you choose to describe your story, in the middle of your story, and how it's going now, and what you want your legacy to be in the future. So we'll try to break it down as much as possible, and I can refresh your memory if I asked too many in one back-to-back. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, dear Beta and Gail. It's a pleasure to be here. Big Brother Big Sister is a fantastic organization, and I'm honored to be in the same company as Beta, representing and supporting Dr. Haynes Collective, and also supporting your wonderful nonprofit as well. I appreciate the kind words, Vita. It's definitely been an interesting journey for me to be where I am today. Um, Thinking about different adjectives that would describe Giselle Hashemian. Um, the first two that came to my mind right away are persistency and being ambitious. That that's how I got started. That's how I continue to go in the middle. That's where I am right now, and hopefully that would also remain as part of my legacy. When it comes to thinking about Gazelle and looking at myself outside of my body, um, I think of someone who is reliable, passionate, has empathy, is diligent, and continues to do her best in anything and everything she undertakes. If there's an assignment that I've been given at work, if there is a title that I have been honored with, whether it's motherhood, sisterhood, daughterhood, or a C-level executive, I take it very seriously. And throughout my life, I don't claim that I have done a good job at all of it, all at the same time. I think was it RBG that said we can't have it all. It's true, we can't have it all, but you can have part of it at any given day. I definitely agree with that assessment, and of course many other things that she stood for and she taught us. Um, Take two, by the way, was that an RBG quote or did I misquote?
No, that's a good quote.
It's okay. We'll go back
Okay,
and
good. But I wanted to make sure that I gave credit to the right person. Okay, I think it was true. All right, going back. Um, Looking at how I have tried to juggle the 5 pillars of growth, um, it has been a constant juggle, a delicate act of balancing, and continuing to look within and outside of myself. It's especially when it comes to career, finance, leadership. It's something that Gazelle has definitely had a lot of control on. When it came to health, wellness, family, and community, there has been a lot of external forces as well. And I've always tried my best to continue to kind of go back and forth, ensuring that a balance is kept.
what are the greatest achievements as it relates to these pillars, the 5 pillars of Dr. Haynes Collective, and how would you say that you've been able to adapt to the time and attention that each of them require, and the needs of your own personal growth, as well your professional growth?
I think I consider my biggest achievement is to live a life of value. Life of value when it comes um, to motherhood, sisterhood, wifehood, and being a professional. That's what I'm most proud of, and that's something that I have tried my best to instill in my children. Um, I'm also extremely proud of my 2 children, Alex and Tara, um, because at the end of the day, they're good people, and I respect them and love them for that. When it comes to the other aspects of um, of my life, I'm extremely proud that people that have worked with me at one company are willing to work with me at other companies. At Blue Juniper, about 4 of my team members in a very small company that have taken a chance at Gazelle again, and her vision and a vision that we are compiling together for the future of Blue Juniper, have worked with me at multiple companies in the past, specifically at Paragon Technology Group, which is a company my husband and I owned, ran, and grew together and sold a few years ago. There are many things to be proud of in one's life, and there are also one thing that I'm extremely proud at acknowledging is that I do not know it all. And that's part of my leadership and personal evolution, is that I continue to learn. um, I don't think I have lived a life without error, but I can tell you that I have lived a life with intent, and an intention towards health and wellness, an intention towards um, being a good family member, community member, um, and a good leader, a leader that listens and knows how to make tough decisions, at the same time is um, aware of her limits on skill sets, hence never hesitant to ask questions. There's not a meeting that I have with my team that I do not end with, what do you think? Where should we go from here? So a life with, looking back, as I said, a life with many great accomplishments that I'm super proud of. But that doesn't mean that I'm done learning.
Obviously, you give off so much incredible energy, positive energy. What's the best advice for our listeners that you've been given within those 5 pillars of the Dr. Haynes Collective?
Have a whole slew of list of advices that I can share with you. One of the best ones that I've been given that has really helped me through navigating life in general has been, play with the hands that you've been dealt with. Now, how you play and what we take on as part of playing and persevering and moving forward, that's a different story. But at the end of the day, I do play with the hands that I've been dealt with and navigate through that.
It's powerful. And, it's interesting, Sarah, we talk about, oftentimes in this room, the game of life, everybody makes the team, but how you play is up to you. And similarly to what you're saying, these are the cards I've been dealt. Let's go. I have to play using what I have. So I love that advice. That's such a powerful thing in the executive coaching world, because situational leadership calls for that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing that resonated that's important to highlight is the idea of resilience is really about problem solving. And what I'm hiring for, what I want on my team as a CEO of Bolt and these startups that have launched very quickly with hyper growth, is someone that can be able to solve problems, right? And you want the same thing.
That's right.
That are resourceful, that are able to ask the right questions, to be able to gather the data, to be able to make informed decisions. And that's really the sign of persistence that you talked about. It's been a key factor for your success, and being reliable, following up with the things that you say you're going to do is so important, because sometimes life does present challenges that are unexpected that you can't control.
That's right.
But to be able to communicate that and to share that in a way that allows you to be a man and woman of your word is really important as well. And it's been an incredible experience working side by side with you and learning always. And continuous growth is what we're all about. That we don't know all the answers, even as two CEOs sitting next to each other, and you as well, joining us via Zoom graciously from Washington, D.C. It's really important to realize that these are the things that make us. It's not just humility to say, I'm humble, don't call me Dr. Haynes, because we're all at the same level. It's about making sure that we know, how do we actually get to continuously learn everything. It's not just based on our titles, but to be able to ask the right people. And having a collective of experts, there's no way that I know all the answers. And I worked in the medical school at Georgetown. We have a collective of experts, specialist doctors, and clinicians from different sectors and fields. So the multidisciplinary, the interdisciplinary approach is so important. And I have interns all the way to the CEO around the same table, breaking bread together every week in our weekly meetings, so that I can learn from all different ages, all millennials to Gen Zs to baby boomers to Gen X. So the generational information is not lost as well, and there's a mutual sharing of knowledge.
Absolutely. I think we got time for maybe one more question.
And then we can, I think we need to wrap up.
Okay, we got to wrap?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
all
if you
right.
want to do it?
I'm just thinking just the adaptability, the ability to adapt. How important is that in your leadership journey? How important has it been in your leadership journey?
it's been extremely important. And I think part of, we just talked about continuing to learn and having a growth mindset. A growth mindset has definitely helped me throughout not my career, not just my career, but also my personal life and growth. And having been an immigrant at age of 15 and being able to adapt quickly, naturally, and organically has really prepared me for what has been down the road for me in my adulthood. Adaptability is huge. It doesn't mean being adaptable to give in on one's values, focus, intent, or drive, but adaptability to situations. And again, joining the game as an athlete and being a good athlete when it comes to a game of life and on the field all around. It has definitely been a blessing. And while I tend to, what I tell my children is that I know what I know, and I will talk to you about what I know. And I have, I'm certain about those, but there are many things that I don't know, and I will tell you that as well. But what I do know when it comes to values and ambitious and focus and drive, we can definitely do a good job communicating that as leaders, again, in personal and professional life, and while being adaptable to situations on a daily basis.
Powerful.
That's fantastic. Well, I love to be around world-class leaders and best in class, and working with Usain Bolt as
It's
an
my
8-time
pleasure.
gold medalist, and you here today, as well as Gail Nelson. It's an honor and a pleasure to work with you and to learn from you and to be able to share your knowledge. And this is probably going to be one of many series that we'll do to make sure that we get more of, extract more knowledge as much as we can, so that we can share that with the greater community here in Miami, as well as nationally and globally. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your generosity to share your knowledge. And we look
Thank you
forward
both.
to.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.